that was exactly the goal of the January 6th committee, to show how far the former president Donald Trump went in order to try to overturn the result of a U.S. election. And so last week they focused on the pressure campaign, both public and private, on the vice president, Mike Pence. This time they focused on that same pressure campaign, but on state official, really focusing on two states, Arizona and Georgia, two states that Joe Biden won by a close margin, but won nonetheless. And they had in this hearing three witnesses, the House Speaker from Arizona and the Secretary of State of Georgia, as well as the Secretary of State's Chief Operating Officer. So three election officials who were elected by their state, all three very conservative, very staunch Republicans, all three who testified that they had been pressured, asked by the president and by his allies to either stop the counting when that failed, to stop the certification when that failed, to find votes, and when that failed, to send those fake electors to Washington to try to change the end counting of the Electoral College and, of course, the certification of the 2020 election. And all three testified that they refused to break their oath to their state and to their country, refused to do something that they deemed illegal, and that a lot of people around Donald Trump, a lot of his allies, or a lot of his legal advisors also knew to be wrong and to be illegal. And that's what really the panel tried to focus on, was how much the president knew. He knew that it was illegal, and he still went ahead with it. But they also had another point, and that was the role of another witness, the fourth witness of the day, a former election worker from Georgia, who testified at the threats, the death threats that she and her mother suffered throughout that electoral campaign because of those lies that elections had been stolen in Georgia. And so the committee really focusing on that aspect this time. Adam Schiff, who was leading most of the questioning, concluding by saying whether his actions, Donald Trump's actions, were criminal will ultimately be for others to decide. But what he did was without a doubt unconstitutional, unpatriotic, and it was fundamentally un-American. Those others that he's mentioning, of course, the panel looking at the Department of Justice, because if there is any criminal indictment of the president or his allies, it will come from that Department of Justice.